What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Bittersweet Podcast. It's your girl, Wintana.
And I'm Rahel.
And we are back, guys, from the most, how can I describe this? Rewarding. I should have had like bang, bang, like inspiring,
like
loving, wholesome weekend.
Yeah.
Guys, we're back. This week we just had the Amari Gala that wrapped up at the end of the week last week, and I'm lost for words.
Yeah, I know.
It was such an amazing weekend. Like the lead up to the event, the pre-launch, the actual event. It was executed so well. Yeah.
I feel like everything was just so well put together. And it really felt like so much like thought and energy and like love and time went into sort of curating this whole thing. And I was genuinely not shocked because I expected it to be that way, but I was like blown away by how everyone showed up, like dressed to the nines, and how much it felt like a genuine awards show that you would see in like the US or the UK, like, and that was their first one. Like,
it was amazing.
And it was smooth. I mean, obviously like some things happened or whatever, but it's like, it is like, it's just crazy to think that that group of people that were up on the stage at the end, did that. Like, it's, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
It was amazing. First of all, let's give a special shout out to the organizers.
Yes.
Shout out to AYA, shout out to Rhythm, shout out to Incubate Foundation. You guys absolutely nailed it. Like, you can tell that you put in a lot of thought. You can tell you put in the hours, the effort, and we're so grateful. We're so thankful. I've spoken to so many people in the community, and I know that everybody's just grateful for what you guys did and what you've done for us. So I really hope that they're taking a moment to be like, we really did that.
Yeah.
And they're proud of themselves because the execution was just so clean.
Yeah.
Everything was so thought out. So, how do you feel about, like, where do we even start? Because we got a lot.
We have so much. When I was like, we need to talk, like when we were like, we need to talk about this gala, it's like, there's so much to capture. But like, I mean, I think just really like pressing on how it was organized. Like, we've already spoken about it, how it like, how it was just like A1 level. It was like nothing. Like, I couldn't imagine it being put together in a better way. And I feel like the creativity around it, and you could just really tell, like, you can tell when an event is put on by the people for the people type of situation. And that's exactly
what it was giving.
How it felt.
Yeah. Even, do you know what I loved? Like, one, the genuine like joy I felt when people were receiving their awards. Like, just being so excited. Like, obviously the suspense of like, when they were naming all the nominees and all that kind of stuff, but when they gave and the people, and you're just like, I'm just so happy for you, and I'm so proud because I know like all the work that you've done. And what I also loved was how intentional they were around who presented each award. Like, they had Sampa the Great, hello, like literally present the music award. They were sitting there and they just, you could tell like they thought about it. It wasn't just like, okay, let's just get someone, the host of the night, to just read it out. It was someone who was in that category or like in that space, and that person obviously had love and really cared about the craft and all of that stuff. So I thought that was really cool.
I think so as well. Like, I think that's just like going into, again, like the way that it was so like meticulously thought out, like every single like detail of it, like little things like that. I want to talk about the performances. Because what? Like, what? I'm sorry.
Nyasha and Killy, the way Killy Safari does that vibrating thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what? Like, what part of your body have you activated to be moving like that?
Yeah.
Because that's crazy. I saw him perform at the pre-launch as well. I'm like, this guy is something different. And even the girl at the beginning, what am I saying?
Yeah.
She set the tone. BK? Her voice was so angelic.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she was so beautiful. She set the tone.
Yeah.
She looked stunning. Yeah, I really loved that.
It felt like, I think, and this is, I feel like something that we'll talk more about later, but I think that the environment of the whole thing, which is the whole point of, I think, like putting on a gala like this to celebrate like Black excellence ran by Black people, like all the people are out to support, really kind of like, I feel like brought out and like elevated the performances, because I felt like it was such a professional setting and everything like that. So I think I just got the feeling that like for the artists and stuff, it would have felt like such an amazing platform to be able to, you know, do that. And there's so many people around them who are like genuinely like supporters and are just so like hyped. And it was just like, I don't know. It felt like, again, like I felt like these people could be performing on the stages at the like the what's the name?
The BET Awards or the But yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know
like
what I mean?
on a
Like
bigger scale.
very, 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 very high level
Performances
and artists.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Even like their stage presence, everything. I
Their
was like,
confidence.
wow.
I was the dancers as well, the backup dancers.
Yeah.
The way that they were looking in our direction, I was like, okay.
I'm like, am I starstruck? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit like, what? These people.
They killed it.
Yeah.
I want to get into the fits.
Okay.
I want to get into the outfits. And Kuti put out a video and I was like, yeah, you captured it. Nobody disappointed.
Yeah.
Every single person ate. Every single outfit. I was like, people understood the assignment. They dressed to impress. The girls were looking beautiful. The guys were looking fly. I love the details in the guys' suits. Like everyone did a little bit of something.
The little thing, yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
And I just felt like everybody was showing out. I had a conversation with someone at in the toilets, and they were like, everybody looks good. I'm like, yeah. They're like, usually I'll go to an event and I know I'm gonna look the best because it's always like a non-Black event, you know what I mean? And you know when you step out, you're gonna step out, especially Black girls, like we really step out. So she's like, you know, usually I go, and I'm like, yeah, but today it's like we're all just it was just like stunning. Did you have anyone's outfit that stood out to you?
Oh my gosh, someone needs to do a separate podcast just like analyzing
everyone's
what people
fits?
were wearing, because I'm like not like there was quite a few that really stuck out to me. I really liked the people that like took a bit of a creative like spin on what they were wearing, like because I think that's in a room full of people who are like stunning. Yeah, it's kind of, that can be something that can make you like stand out a little bit. Yeah, the people that would go the extra mile, like maybe they would have like a what are they called, like a accent piece or like a something, you know.
There was a girl that had like a maroon kind of scarf or shawl thing that went on top. Did you see her?
Yeah, I saw her. I was like,
first of all, shout out to Lorinda.
Yeah,
Lorinda was royalty from Collective Closets with her green dress, and she had the sleeves attached as well. She got that made in Bali, she told me.
That's crazy.
With her jewelry and her hair. I think that was something that stood out to me. There was a girl who I met on the night as well. She had like, not a veil, like a metal thing across her eyes, and it was just like kind of like a veil, like sunglasses that kind of was just there. And she had an all black fit. I don't know, I feel like because I don't know names, I can't be naming the people, but there were a few people that stood out to me.
Eunice in the like yellow, oh my days,
she was amazing. Oh, actually Daniel,
oh my
gosh,
gosh,
by Dan. This guy doesn't disappoint. He came with his coat, fur coat. Nasalifia with the blue and the with her blue dress and blonde hair. I think she looked stunning. Everyone looked so good.
Yeah, it's so hard to like pick out specific people, but I feel like it's it's going to really set the standard. And that's why I'm so excited that everyone like went so hard this year, because next year, oh my gosh, I feel like this is going to turn into like, it's going to be like the Met Gala. Like people will there'll be that person like best dress. There will be no worst dress because we do not do this.
We don't do that.
But
there should be a best dress category though.
Yeah.
And
that would be
like,
sick.
That would be so cool. You put in votes or something. I think that would be really good because yeah, people showed out.
Yeah. And it's so nice for the community to have a space where you can just like get dressed up like that. Like, cause that was the first time I've like, actually bought like a proper dress, you know, outside of like school formals and like, I don't know, maybe weddings and stuff like that. But this is different. It feels very different.
I felt like a princess. Yeah. I was like every outfit, the way I was stressing to find a dress though. Yeah. And then last minute, always happens last minute, but it comes together. It's just fun. My favorite, like one of my favorite parts about these kind of things is definitely the glam.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think like, again, like, I don't know how many times we've said it, just celebrating us. I think Daniel from the Disruption podcast and from AYA was talking about how tired everyone is. I remember him talking at the pre-launch and he was like, is anybody tired? And I was like, yes. What are you talking about? I feel it in my soul.
I'm tired right now.
I'm tired. I'm tired. And it's like to know that you're like working hard and, you know, you're, you know, putting in the hours, you know, we're like creating content, we're doing all this, trying to build a platform while working, and then, you know, having something like this where we're recognized, because a lot of times in Australia we're not, let's be point blank, period. Black people are not recognized for the things that we do, especially like on a larger scale, like at these given awards or going to like, you know, galas or whatever it is. And then to have this and now to always be like, oh my God, I'm looking forward to Amari Gala this year. Like that's kind of the tone it's setting. You know what I mean? Everyone's looking forward to getting dressed and like seeing your peers, and then like, you know, we don't get to, unless there's a big event that everyone comes to, we're not seeing each other. We kind of just see what we do online, support each other's events, but we're there, everyone's there to have a good time. Like it was just such a beautiful thing to be able to come together and celebrate each other.
Yeah, and it feels so different being able to do it in like an all black space, because I feel like we're, you know, a lot of us maybe in our own like professional careers, or maybe like creatively we do, you know, excel and like win awards and things like that, but usually it's like in an all white space, and usually it can be, I want to say like slightly, it's not as meaningful, because a lot of the times in white spaces, like you'll be awarded for like fighting racism, or like maybe like you've done something like to create a big change and a big impact. But I just think like the way that it was, how it felt being awarded and recognized at the Amari Gala, it felt way different. And I think it feels so validating to be surrounded by your peers, your genuine peers, and a community of people that you feel safe with, and people that like truly ride for you and are very much like, we genuinely, for everything that you do in every way, we are like here to support you. And that's how it felt at the gala.
Honestly,
like,
because there's an understanding beyond the like impact and the change and all the stuff that you're doing. Like there's an understanding for where you come from, and like what we're all dealing with. And it's like, we're not talking about that. No, we're talking about what you're doing and how great it is. And I think that's amazing. Like I don't think that just like all those little stereotypes and all those things that you have, like these boxes that you have to check off when you go into this space, like this is come as you are. We're celebrating you, and like let's just have a good time. And I think that in itself is just, and it's like everybody is looking good, everybody is killing it, everybody's like thriving. I think that is like the beauty behind all of it. I also want to give a special mention to a catch. because a catch is like that woman in herself. She was awarded Trailblazer of the Year, and that woman, when she comes into a room, people stand up, and that's what happened. She spoke, she introduced the conversation in her language, and she just moves people, because I feel like with a catch, like I genuinely feel like that woman is really herself through and through. When she came on the podcast, whenever we have conversations with her outside of it, like she's just her, and I feel like she's managed to like find power in being herself, which is really hard to be someone in the limelight, African. The other day she was talking to us about her accent and how a friend of hers was like making fun of her accent, and it's like she owns it, she loves it, and she's like, I love my accent, I want to, and I do it on purpose because I want to keep it, which I found crazy, because it's like we're always trying to hide parts of us that make us feel like, you know, outsiders, and she's like, nah, I want to keep it, because what if I'm not doing this, I'm just going to be like everybody else in the room, but it's like I'm unique in that. And I'm like, girl, this is very, very powerful. And her speech, like people stood up for this woman. Someone came up to her at the end and was like, can you run for local council, local, what was it, government? And she's like, so no. She's like, absolutely not. She's like, no. I think her sister's in politics or something, but she was like, no, you know. But they were like, you would be amazing. Like, she is just incredible. And she like, even that, like, hello, how was it the first time that she said it was my first time receiving an award? This woman has played it like football on a professional level. She's done a lot in terms of like her media career. So I just find that crazy. So I'm glad she was given her flowers.
Yeah, I'm always like so impressed by a catch. Like, I just think that this is why representation matters, and I feel like someone like her really like embodies that, and I truly feel like I know that she's gonna go like far, and the most incredible thing about it is that she's always gonna be, and she's always like so authentic in herself and how she is, and I feel like that's why people are so moved by her, because you can like feel it, and that's why she can like pause in her speeches, and people are just like hanging on to literally every single word that she has, because I'm like, what is she gonna say next? I can't wait. I'm genuinely like so engaged and like inspired, and the fact that the Amari Gala was able to give her that platform to get on stage and give that speech, like, oh my gosh, like that's life-changing stuff. So I think that is where the significance, everyone that got up and
everyone
spoke,
that got a everyone that got an award, sorry.
And I you know, I've learned so much more about what other people are doing as well, and it's just like so incredible to see people finally get their flowers and do it like on their own terms, you know, like we're doing it on our own terms, and I feel like that's something that we just don't have here in Australia. So I just cannot say enough, like give enough thanks to the people who put time and effort and probably facing a lot of doubters, like naysayers, people just kind of rolling their eyes like, oh, you know, it's just going to be like another African event or whatever, you know, community event. It's like, no, this is the real deal, honey. The real deal, and this is gonna change.
You're gonna see. They're gonna see.
They're making a difference.
People actually saw videos of people being like, "I was shook. I was shook. I attended, and like I didn't expect what I saw." And I think it's like the energy, the obviously the like, what's the word I'm looking for? The professionalism that went behind it, scheduling, the way that it looked. It was great. Let's move on though, because guys, your girls got awarded Content Creators of the Year. Let's talk about the moment, please.
Oh my gosh.
I can't tell you, Rahel, like when I was thinking of the Amari Gala, like there wasn't anything in me thinking, oh my God, are we going to get this award? Like obviously very grateful that we were nominated. We shared for people to vote and everything. But one, I think also because I was hosting the red carpet, I was like, okay, like red carpet, like let's focus on that. And then just like focusing on like what we're gonna wear and all that kind of stuff. And then just like I was like excited for the night. I just wanted to be there. So, and obviously in my mind I'm like, there's a possibility that we could win. But it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm thinking, are we gonna win? Wondering. So when they said bittersweet podcast, I fell into your lap. Do you remember? I was like,
oh no,
what?
I don't remember anything.
You don't remember? Oh,
no,
you blanked out.
I literally blacked out. I blacked out for like.
I literally fell into your lap, and I'm like, bitch.
Yeah.
Mind you, but they messaged us earlier, and they were like, I think they messaged everyone that was nominated, and they said, guys, prepare a speech. Rahel and I, like, we're just getting ready, we were doing the whole thing, and we sent like, you know, when you, like we wrote something up and we sent it to each other like earlier that day, and then while we were sitting there, we're like, oh my god, imagine if we get chosen, like let's just like, what should we say, like how should we say it? I couldn't even and it was like stressing me out because I hate like not being prepared and having to do like a public announcement or like go up and do public speaking. Believe it or not, just because you have a podcast does not mean public speaking is your forte. And I feel like for me, I'm confident, but when it comes to being on the mic and kind of being on the fly, like it's not always going to come out the way I wanted it to. And I was like, like I literally left that being like, everything that was said was like in the moment and from the heart, but also at the same time, I'm like, there's so much I wish I had said. Because we just were not expecting it. We got up there and when I tell you we're squeezing each other's hands, like I cannot believe this is happening.
I was literally like gasping for air. Like I felt like it was like one of those like I felt like I was looking up on myself. I was like out of body situation. But I don't know. Again, like that was why it was like so validating to feel like people actually like really like fuck with what we do. And like I think what we do a lot, which is I think what a lot of people in this like creative or whatever field do, is like undervalue like what we do, because it feels like, and especially when you talk about like not being really like acknowledged like a lot of the time, 100%. Like you just kind of like you push out content or like you keep working, and this is our going into our fifth year. So it's like it's actually it's crazy. So I think it was just like unbelievable to actually step up there and be like, okay, like we did this shit.
We're doing this shit.
We're actually like living what like 5 years ago like we pictured.
Well, to be honest, did we even visualize this 5 years ago? That wasn't even that's what's so crazy, because that's what we said when we went up. It was like 5 years ago we started this because of this reason, like that we didn't exist in this space that we all live in. And to come, like, it was a full circle moment for us, because it's like 5 years later we're being recognized by the community that we're doing it for, and we're up here being awarded like top content creators of the year. And it's just like it was just such a, like, I guess a privilege, a proud moment to be recognized, literally to be recognized for the work that we do. And just like you said, half the time it's like, who's listening? Who is actually listening to me chat my shit every week?
You're like yappa.
I'm like every day yappa, and I don't even know what I'm saying. But it's like, like, I don't know, I just feel like it was an honor. That was what I'm looking for. I'm like, what's the word? It was really an honor to just be up there in front of everyone. And like, you know, people always show us support and show us love and tell us that you guys are doing great. But to like go that next level and to be awarded, and like we're seen by a panel as well of judges who are outside of this community that are like, they're doing their thing, was like a huge honor. And it's like something that I can definitely say I'm proud of. And let's just show you guys the award, because we brought it here, of course. Of course.
Oh my gosh,
guys, it is heavy.
That's the real deal.
She's a heavy girl.
This
is gonna be like, we're gonna put it somewhere in the studio and just like have it. This is probably our first like personalized thing in the studio. Everything else was like we just bought.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by personalized? Like
No.
this is an award. You know how people have like things that they bring into their space that's like, oh yeah, this is like,
well, what about our pictures?
yeah, that too. Actually, never mind.
Oh my
but
God,
this
let me
is like,
see.
look at it. It's the real deal.
Oh my God. It's so heavy.
Oh, this one is for like shout out to all our black women as well. This is for us,
Yes.
guys. This is for us, and this is the platform that Bittersweet is like. We're creating it. They're our number one supporters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like this
100%.
is
that was the one thing like I wish I had the like mental capacity to say during the speech. And I think you wrote something about it when you sent me like the drafts speech, but. Oh my gosh, this is really, really, really for any other black women out there who want to do anything really. It doesn't have to be a podcast. If it is a podcast, like that's great. But like just really like find your place in whatever industry or whatever you want to do, and just know that like you can, like if we can do it, you can do it.
100%.
And I think like the whole reason we started Bittersweet was because of representation and lack of representation in Australia. And I think that why you said like this is a whole full circle moment is because it's like literally a full circle moment. It's like that's why we started it, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. And that for me is like has consistently been the only reason I've been able to get off my ass like every fucking Monday to record, do the million extra things that like go into like hosting a podcast, and just continue to like work, because that is especially in Australia, like it's just so important, and it's something that neither one of us had growing up. We both really understand and see the importance in, and it's like something that the Amari Gala represents, because after this there's going to be so many other like there's going to be a whole other categories of awards being given, people being nominated, and it's just going to like create a massive shift in the culture that sometimes I'm like, what the fuck, we're literally living in it,
which is so great though. Like that's like a privilege as well to be contributing towards towards this culture is amazing, because it's like in 10 years time we're gonna look at that and be like, oh yeah, we were involved. And that's, for me, I think is like really rewarding. And just to add to the comment about like black women wanting to do things in these spaces, the Amari Gala is literally Bittersweet, all the other organizations is literally the definition of creating like creating your own table, not even bringing a seat to the table, like creating your own. And I think like you can look at that and see like, okay, they're doing it. I can do it from nothing as well. Because Rahel and I really started with like no experience, no networks, no connections. And it's like when you're in the space and your passion and your love for what you do continues and it drives you, people recognize that in you, and that you just continue to grow through collaborations, through just like continuing to build what you're doing in consistency. But I think there's always space for that kind of stuff in this space. You just need to be open enough to trying it. And I just like it's a testament to
it is
everything we've done.
And it's only going to continue, and like I just see so much change coming. I can see it, like it's already happening, and the more of us that are in these spaces, not just media spaces, but obviously like work spaces, sports, fashion, anything, creative arts, it's just going to encourage someone else younger to step in and do exactly the same thing, because all you need to do is like literally everything I've ever done has always come from seeing another black woman do it. It has never come from seeing a white person or like it has really literally it has never with media, with Bittersweet, that came from being in London and seeing it. With my other like community work, that's come from black women mentors that I've had, who I've seen in those positions support me in that, you know what I mean? So it's so important. It's so important, and it's so sad that it's lacking. It actually, I don't even want to talk about the negative, but the fact that it's something that isn't.
I can see in your face you're ready to get into it.
Like, it's actually a joke at this point, but you know what? We're doing it. We're doing it,
and we're here, and this is a positive episode about how much. Like, we're doing it. Yeah, guys. Still we rise. That was the.
Still we rise.
They have it printed on the side.
Oh my god.
Still we engraved on the side. This award is lit.
Still we rise.
Okay.
Yes.
Check out all the content on the Amari Gala. Follow them as well on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's just amari.gala.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait till they start pushing out that content.
Yeah. Wait till we start pushing out the content. What do you mean?
Oh my god, yeah.
Should we move on to let's move on to our next topic?
Oh yes, let's.
We're going to move on to our last segment of the episode. We're keeping it light with an Am I the Asshole dilemma. You found the spicy one today, yeah?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Okay, am I the asshole for being angry with my wife after she stayed in a hotel with another man? I, 28 male, and my wife, 28 female, have been married for 2 years, been in a relationship for 6. We both enjoy going to live music, and sometimes we'll go with friends while the other needs to work. My wife was invited to go to a show on Saturday night with a male friend. We will call him Larry. They have gone to shows before and other people involved, and they have gone to shows before with other people involved and come back late at night. This has always been fine. This time the other person going with them cancelled, so it would just be the two of them. My wife approached me the morning of the show saying that Larry was not comfortable driving home after the show that night, so they would be getting a hotel room together. She asked if I was all right with that. I responded, no, I'm not, and gave her the reasons why. I have known Larry for a few months. Larry likes to brag about visiting the area that the show is going to be. When he goes there, he reserves hotel rooms and specifically takes married women there to sleep with. It's so weird. Larry has also been reprimanded at his job for using his management position to acquire employees' phone numbers so that he can flirt with them. My wife looked at me, told me okay, and did not return home until 1 p.m. Sunday. My wife looked at me, told me okay, and did not return home until 1 p.m. Sunday. I have not spoken to her other than professionally for almost 2 days. Am I the asshole?
Well, absolutely not. There's not much to really discuss here. Like, sorry, I just want to get all the facts straight.
I think we need to hold an intervention for the wife.
My thing is why can't you catch an Uber home after the show?
Yeah, was that explained?
Why is that? No, she just said he's not comfortable driving, so catch an Uber. All of this, it could have been prevented.
Why did she stay? That's what I'm confused about.
She obviously wanted to sleep with Larry.
Why would she want to sleep with Larry? Larry's literally creep. I don't get it.
She's feeling Larry. Probably the drinks were hitting. The show was it was just flowing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing her and Larry might have I don't know. It just doesn't seem innocent to me, because if your husband is telling you come home, as a normal husband would, why would you not just come home? Why would you ignore him and come home the next day at 1 p.m. even? Not even shy. You're going to spend the whole morning with this guy.
Yeah. It's very, I would say it's disrespectful. I feel like even with the way that the husband, he approached it, I felt like he was saying quite reasonable things. It's not like he was just being jealous, you know? He was no, I don't want you to go. Even though, you could argue a case for that as well. It's he could just say no, you know? That would be fair. But he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 billion things about why you can't. Why would you go there? Why would you want to go and stay at a hotel room with the man who's known for trying to take married women to hotel rooms and literally being a weirdo in a creepy weirdo in workplace? It's just weird.
Why would I don't know. Okay, let's try and argue the other side of it.
It's hard.
You could argue the other side where it's you know, going to, I don't know, where do you draw the line? Like, have they always been friends? If they've always been friends, they've always gone out to concerts together, then for me, it kind of sounds like he has a level of trust in this guy. Or he's okay with the friendship to a certain degree.
No, I think she said, I think there was something I read. It might have been in the
comments.
Yeah, that they only knew each other for like 6 months or something. Like, it wasn't a long-term friend sort of situation.
You know what this like makes me think about?
I have known Larry for a few months.
This makes me think about, like, what kind of boundaries do you guys have in your relationship? Like, I think people need to establish boundaries in their relationships.
Yeah.
And it might be okay with you, but if it's not okay with your partner, have a conversation. And I think the husband just seems like he's letting things happen, even though he's not happy, just to not be the person that complains.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got an issue with your wife sleeping in the hotel with this guy, fair enough. All the things that you allowed before that led to this point. No one's ever going to just go and sleep with someone in a hotel.
No,
It's going to be all the little things that you kind of let go. Like, every time she's going to a concert with other people and Larry, why wouldn't you go? Or why wouldn't you limit the amount of times if she's only known him for a few months?
Yeah.
So I just think it's like, be mindful about how you're allowing things to happen in the relationship and maybe being a bit nonchalant about it. And not to say that you have to have rules or whatever, but it's like, boundaries stop you from doing the thing that kind of tips everything over the edge.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she didn't need to be there.
No.
But you should have established that.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah, no, I do. I think sometimes, like, these Am I the Asshole posts, I'm like, how do people find themselves in these situations?
It happens though. Like, I've heard these like real life stories where sometimes people, you know, it could be like a traveling thing where your partner's just traveling a lot because they enjoy solo traveling. But it's like, why do you keep traveling a lot when you've got a wife and kids?
Yeah.
And you've got all, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, that then leads to something that's going to happen later. And I think you don't realize it because you trust this person. You're married to this person and you're thinking like, yeah, obviously we're still individuals and living our lives, but it's also like, how much do you kind of like let someone do things without explaining, or just in general, like, not even just how, like, have a boundary.
Have a boundary. That's just
have
it.
limits.
I feel like he kind of like, you know, in that situation, he was like, no. Like, you know, so he kind of like set that boundary by just being like, no. So then you look at the other, as in like just in that situation.
Yeah.
I feel like in the whole relationship, like, who knows, probably he had an issue with that.
Why is she going out with Larry?
I think it's crazy. Like, I think she's like, basically, I don't know. Like, I think the only thing I would say is that sometimes people don't know how to be in a relationship. Like, they're too independent minded or selfish. Basically, selfish is the word.
I get that, yeah.
Where it's like, maybe there's a world where she wasn't actually trying to be sus. She just genuinely, I don't know, maybe couldn't be fucked going home, or like maybe she was just like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, I'm going to do it. So
like, why wouldn't you allow it?
Like,
Which,
like,
again, is just, like, selfish.
Yeah, and that's, like, a communication breakdown in the relationship where that's obviously not something that she was willing to do, or she didn't care enough about him or the relationship to do that. So I think there are people out there that do it and then have to face the consequences. And for her, it's like, he's obviously seen her true colors and is probably going to be like, this is, I mean, hopefully you would assume that after doing something like that, the relationship, the foundation of it is broken. So
I'm just thinking how he slept the whole night.
Yeah.
Like, how did you stay until 1 p.m?
So is there a scenario for you where like your partner stays out all night, doesn't text, doesn't call you, doesn't nothing, and then comes home later the next day and it's just like, oh, I don't know, like, my phone died and I got really
like if you were on a boys trip, you know what I mean, like you guys went camping and you stayed at your friend's house or something like that, like I feel like I would have enough trust in my partner to be like, okay, he's not he's not sus. Like, he's not doing all this stuff and not texting me, not doing this. Like, I don't expect you to be like, all right, babe, going to sleep now. Or, you know, like, I'm here. But obviously leading up to the night and things like that would be cool. For you to be in a sus situation and then go ghost. Yeah, we're having an issue.
Yeah.
We're having a problem. Like, why are you... There was a story one time, and the guy did that. Like, I think he went out with his boy, and then after that he said that he was so drunk he fell asleep in his car on the driveway, but the car wasn't in the driveway, and the friend confirmed that. And it was like, you went and you had a one night stand, my friend, because you disappeared early God. And then you went somewhere and then you came back and you were like, oh yeah, like, no, I felt it, but like your story wasn't adding up. And I think no, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to allow for like little stupid things to happen. I think as long as you're honest, and you can kind of tell when someone's being honest, like your story adds up. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, like, unless you're on like a trip or whatever, like I feel like it's fine to kind of just like go and do your own thing for the night or whatever. But if you were out all night and then all of a sudden you're a ghost, no. Yeah, it's like sus. You think I'm a fool? Yeah. Are you crazy? You've lost the plot. You've actually lost the plot. And if I was the husband, I would have drove to that hotel and I would have checked what was going on inside. I'm not allowing this to happen. And I'd be like, okay, that's fine. And I'd want to set them up so I could see what's happening. It was like this. I saw this post the other day. It cracked me up, and it was like the woman. It's like the closer you look, this picture is so funny. It was like a meme, but not actually a meme. And it was a woman who printed out like all her husband's Instagram followers, and she's like talking to. He's there like with his head down, and she's like pointing at each person. Obviously, she's breaking down like, who is this girl? Who is this girl? Who is this girl? Yeah. And I'm like, 100%, that's me. I would do some shit like that. Because don't play with me. Don't. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. So is the husband the asshole? Yes. Oh, sorry. What? The wife is. The wife is. Yeah. The wife is. But yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah, it's when it comes to someone like staying out all night or something, I think it really depends on what type of relationship you have as well, and like the level of trust. Because sometimes people can just be like, I mean, I would almost say like 80% of the time it's like sus. It's really like weird and like sus behavior. But there would be stories where people legitimately just like pass out like tired somewhere, or like maybe they can't. Or do you think it's always just like weird? I think you need to be like a bit more self-aware. Yeah. Like, if you're getting that drunk, don't get that drunk when you're not with people that you know. Yeah, true. You know what I mean? It's like, do things to make sure you don't end up like accidentally doing something you're going to regret. Yeah. Because that's just like, you're going to impact someone else. So if that was an excuse, I passed out, I'd be like, oh. Literally, get out. Literally get out of my face right now, because this is like, I'm talking to a fool. Yeah. So you need to be about it. Yeah. So moral of the story, don't do some dumb shit. Don't stay out. It's always going to be, or it will look sus as fuck. Yeah. And just think about the regret the next day. It's not worth it. No. Obviously, it not being like, you need to be faithful in your relationship and everything, but it's also like, you're going to deal with it. Nothing is ever worth that short amount of time. No. Be strong. Be strong. Yes. Stand up. Get up. Stand up. Did you watch, are you watching Love is Blind? Well, no, not yet. I'm going to start it though. Well, that literal situation happened, but you don't know, so we can't talk about it. I love drama. I'm so for it. Okay. All right, guys. Should we wrap up here? Yeah, we should wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to the Amari Gala organizers. Shout out to all our supporters. We love you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to send in a dilemma, send it through all the links in our bio. And we'll see you guys again next week.